Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, May 9th, 11 p.m. Mountain Time, 2020. The models are showing snow will continue in the Northeast, and the big story, the polar vortex whips millions of Americans with strong winds, record lows, and even snow. Well, the only problem with that is that there is no polar vortex whipping millions of Americans. Keep calm. It's fraud time. Well, have you seen the models? Below average across most of the U.S., especially the Northeast, in the deep freeze this weekend. Records shattered as latest snow and cold on record grip New York City. Yeah, have you heard about this? Not even the city of brotherly love, but the city of death and destruction and snow in May, apparently. We'll get to that. Snow in Central Park. Here's the record. In May, the Central Park Automated Surface Observing System. That means no one can lie here. That's why this is hitting the media. Recorded snow. And this ties the record latest snow set on this day in 1977. The latest snowfall ever recorded in Central Park. Today. Hey. White screen. What's going on? New Jersey just got some snow. Oh, ho, in May. Has this ever happened before? Apparently only one other time. Oh! Get in your hole! I mean, this guy. Can you believe him? Let's check out the snowfall analysis for the last 24 hours. Just like I said, 8 inches. And yes, New Hampshire is the big winner. Maine follows. Eastern Maine got spared on this unless they got buried, and it's just not in the data. So we're going to be checking the data tomorrow. There's no snow showing up in New York City or New Jersey. So apparently this is as of 7 a.m. this morning when the snow just began. Do you see how they do that? They don't want to keep the data. They're going to mix it together. So if we go to 48 hours, it's going to go backwards a little and not forwards. But you can see here some of this snow moving all the way down towards New York City. Hello. And then a huge swath of 8 inches all the way south here near Albany. That had to be some heavy snow, you know? Warm temperatures in the western U.S., well below normal for the eastern U.S. Frost and freeze warnings have dropped all the way into the southeast. Yes, we're talking central Alabama, central Georgia, northern Georgia, as well as South Carolina and North Kakalaki, most of the state, and then all the way up, all of West Virginia in freeze warnings, all of southern PA in freeze warnings, and on and on and on. Click on your county, even out here in the Midwest, southern Dakota, South Dakota, central Nebraska, Kansas. I hope your corn is fine. Above average temperatures are expected across a small area of the desert in the west. And they have that as the opening sentence. As the eastern half of the country is 10 to 20 degrees below average. Well below average temperatures with widespread near record low temperatures are likely across eastern, central, and southern U.S. into Tuesday. Just like I said. Oh my God. They must watch the show. They must. Let's check the GFS model real quick. So tonight into tomorrow, you're going to see these lake effect bands reaching all the way to the coast. Check them out. Eastern Maine's going to pick up a little bit more. And then another event Monday night into Tuesday brings snow to, well, a little bit more to those regions. And some snow out west, where it's the best. Now let's talk about the fraud being perpetrated. Because they're claiming that this is how they get away from global warming. Polar vortex. Polar vortex brings record-breaking snowstorms to the Northeast. Now, if anyone in the media even Googled or the definition of polar vortex, they would find that the polar vortex is a large area of low pressure and cold air. Right here, I'm reading, surrounding both of the Earth's poles. It always exists near the poles, but weakens in the summer and strengthens in the winter. Okay? So there's your basic premise. Now we're going to come over here to null school, and I'm going to show you what a polar vortex looks like. Here's the Earth currently, and we're up at the upper atmosphere. And if we come over to the North Pole, let's just see what's going on here. Very little in the activity of movement or wind. And this isn't a clockwise. Polar vortex is always counterclockwise. So this isn't even the polar vortex. But if we come over to the southern hemisphere, you can see this huge, huge spinning area. Yes. And that would be what you would be indicative of the polar vortex in the winter, which is in the southern hemisphere. We can even drop it down to 70, and we could still see the same swirling motion. Let's go down to 250. Wow. Let's bring that up here. And let's look at the same comparison. Now we're looking for a polar vortex. Remember, kids? And the only remnant of the polar vortex is at 70 pascals. And let's just give you the visibility on that. Okay, so here we are looking at the remnants of our polar vortex in the northern hemisphere. We have a counterclockwise flow. It's up over the Arctic. And take a look. According to the mainstream media, this polar vortex is forcing air down into the U.S. down here. That's a fail. That's a 100% lie. That's not the polar vortex is up here, north of Alaska and moving by Alaska. It's not forcing any air down here. What is forcing air down here is this North American vortex. Take a look. This North American vortex, which dumps all the way down to the tropics, is spinning around here. Now, what am I trying to get to? I'm trying to get to this. If we come look at the actual weather pattern creator in the northern hemisphere, here is what they're claiming is the polar vortex, where you have the jet stream that breaks down so much. It comes up here, down here, all the way to central California, all the way back here above Alaska, and all the way back to here down to the Midwest. I wonder what system is bringing that cold air down here. It appears to me to be the meridional flow due to the grand solar minimum, the breakdown of the jet streams, yes, and the breakdown of our magnetosphere. Jet streams do not go up and down 700 miles like this, like we're seeing here, up and down, and they don't get all smashed together. But when they do, we get mid-May without a summer. Now let's just go over this. Zonal flow on the left is when we have high solar activity. Meridional flow on the right, low solar activity. Low waning magnetosphere. The jet stream breaks down and it starts dipping high and low. See that? Wavy. Zonal flow straight across. Let's go back to the map. Meridional flow is here. Zonal flow is here. Did you just... Okay, another good graphic. The meridional flow here in orange, zonal flow in red. And back to null school. So we have an extreme breakdown of the jet stream this spring. Developing meridional flow is insane, and it is bringing air. I'm pretty sure you can see the U.S. here. It's bringing air all the way up here from the Arctic Ocean all the way down to Indiana. Yeah, that only takes maybe 12 hours for the air from the Arctic to move at, let's say, 60 miles an hour down to here. Half a day. And then we have Arctic air right here in central U.S. And then it comes, and look at where it's blasting right through all that Arctic air. The Northeast. So zonal versus meridional flow. We get zonal flow in high solar activity, meridional flow in low solar activity. And there is your weather, space weather prediction tip of the day. Seismic update. No quakes of note. We got some interesting rockers in eastern Canada. This is ongoing. This is the second one this week. 3.9 in Vreme, Nueva, Canada. All you Frenchies. Worldwide volcano news update. No volcanoes puffing of note. Kariminsk, Kluchiskov, Popo, Tukono, Reventador, Sakurajima, Sabankaya, all standard, all puffing, all passing. Now, the Science Guild's mask is falling off by Michael Egner. Theoretical physicist Richard Feynman pointed out that science is iconoclastic. He quipped that science is the belief in the ignorance of experts. And I've often quoted Feynman in my own version is science is the belief in the ignorance of idiots. That's Diamond's version. But Feynman was far more eloquent than I am, but not less tenacious. So, good science is edgy, takes risks, thinks outside of the box. Real experts are good at what they do, and they understand that and acknowledge their own ignorance and welcome controversies, new insights, and new facts. So all of you people that called me out, they're like, you change your fact, your ideas every day. How dare you? Well, that's because I'm a scientist and I have to work on what I've been given. And if what I've been given changes the narrative, well, then the narrative must change. And that is how we move forward, onward, and upward in science. Now, economist Alex Slater at Texas Tech has an excellent essay for the American Institute for Economic Research from incompetent experts and bad government. And I'm just going to read one quote here. Experts in the supposedly scientific fields of public health and economics have made a mess of things. Their failures would be comedic, were the consequences not so tragic. Instead of capable services for the public welfare, the American people have been made to suffer incompetence and malfeasance. And unless we critically examine the failure of experts, we invite similar blunders in the future. In terms of incompetence, it would be difficult to top the United States public health officials. Case in point is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. As it describes itself, quote, saves lives and protects people from health and safety and security threats, unquote. In truth, it has directly contributed to the opposite. Now, the majority of people who have died are people in old age homes. Almost over 33%. Over 1/3 is in old age homes. And the CDC mandated that we put positive COVID-19 patients that are discharged from the hospitals into these homes. Enough said. The incompetence is ridiculous. As 3 top U.S. health chiefs enter self-quarantine because not a single one of these pricks have ever worn a mask or social distance or ever have done any of the things that they're mandating that we do. And I hope, well, you know what I hope. I hope that these schmucks get what they deserve. Well, they're certainly going to get a vacation and a day off. But if you read the article, they are above the law. Because according to Anthony Fauci and Robert Redfield, they disclosed plans to isolate over the next few weeks after a low-risk contact. Now, so if you're an official that makes tens of thousands of dollars a month and you're connected to billionaires all around the world, your contact is low risk. So you're going to do a special quarantine, not like the rest of us, slaves, that get arrested or beat up if we break your official rules. But you get to bang your mistresses and do all kind of other dumb stuff while you all get infected. Good riddance. Hope you got something out of the video. The powers that be don't even follow their own rules. They never have. Al Gore and the whole climate alarmism, that man's electric bill was over $38,000 a month. That's more money than most people in the world make in a year. And that was Al Gore's electric bill, as he told you to stop driving, stop flying, go green and all that. He's paying $40,000 a month in his electric. Schmucks abound. You're living in an idiocracy. The rich elites control the narrative while they sip on $1 million cocktails and $10 pints of ice cream. You suffer. Oh, and you get arrested if you try to open your small business. You know what I say to the government? Fuck you, you fucking scumbags. If you want a civil war, you got it. Period. Subscribe to the channel, share this with like-minded people, and stop fucking voting, you fucking idiots.